Welcome back to the chat. So, there are all sorts of reasons to use a smartphone to help make life a little easier. We do it every day, right? But should you rely on it for family planning? A smartphone app developed in Sweden is the first to be certified in Europe as a method of birth control. It's called Natural Cycles. Women answer a series of detailed health questions. Then, with a thermometer, the app tracks a woman's temperature daily. It uses all that information to tell a woman when she's ovulating and to avoid sex. The app's makers say, get this, it is 93% effective in preventing pregnancy. Now that's pretty good. 93% is great, actually.
Well, our phones can do a lot of things these days.
Yes.
I'm not sure that I'm at the point where I would trust my phone to
But
help.
if it can take your temperature, and that is an important component, isn't it?
If you're trying, if you're trying to get pregnant, maybe go for it. But if you're trying to prevent a pregnancy, I think.
What about the 93% effective?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But that means it's 7% not effective.
Yeah, it's 7%.
So that's the only problem with me.
Nothing's perfect except abstinence.
Well, IUDs are 99% effective. So if you're going to do an IUD, I mean, you can do various different types. I mean, whether it's copper or whatever, there's so many different ways to actually be 99% or abstain to be 100%. But if you want to make sure that you're not going to get pregnant, and for sure 100%, I don't think I would trust this app. I think I'd be a little scared of it.
What if you drop your phone
I
in
would
the
be.
water?
But the only thing that I did think is there's a lot of my friends out there that are actually very, they don't like the hormones. They want to be hormone free.
Yeah.
And so especially the younger generation, they're really trying to be healthy and health conscious and more wholesome. And so for them to have something like this, I think that it's really good because you're not taking hormones and you're not pumping your body full of things that it doesn't want or doesn't need.
And the app isn't doing anything you don't do.
Interested.
Like
Right.
if you were to do it yourself, which is natural family planning, which the Catholic Church is, that's the only kind of family planning the Catholic Church advocates. You do those things anyway. You do it yourself then. You take your temperature, you chart, you look at various things, and write it down, this and that, count days, all that. So, I mean, that might actually be more accurate to do an app than you would be, maybe. I don't know that it would be really less.
My sister and I use an ovulation kit.
Okay.
So no hormones are involved there. You find out exactly when your body is ovulating. It's safe, it's effective, and actually it's very interesting because you're learning about your body and how it works. So that would be my advice. I'd skip the app and go with something more natural.
You guys know where I stand on this, that for me, as an old school girl, I'm old school, honey, I really don't like the fact that this is where we are in the world now, that we're trusting apps for everything in our everyday life. Now we're relying on
I love it. It makes so many things easy.
But that's the problem. It's too easy.
That's okay.
I want
What
easy.
happens to the old-fashioned way?
I want easy.
Well, okay,
Everything
the
is being
old-fashioned,
done for
well,
you.
here's the old-fashioned way. It doesn't allow me to turn my AC on at home before I get there, like my
Yeah.
Nest app does.
Oh my gosh, a Nest app?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Nest is a
so good.
AC and heating thing. But I mean, for things that it can make easier, why not make them easier?
We better hope that we never lose internet power, because as a world, we are going to
I
be
know.
so screwed.
That's
We
very
won't
true.
know what to do. We won't know have anybody's phone number, because we depend on our phones for everything.
You are
Drop
so
your
right
phone in
on
the
that
toilet.
one.
Better hope it never happens. Y'all in trouble.
I needed to call my mom the other day, and
And you
I
didn't know her
didn't
number.
know her
See?
cell number because it's only in my phone.
See?
That was pretty sad. So if we
That's
go on a
scary.
gridlock where it goes down,
Get it?
I can't call anybody. So you guys reach out to me.
Nobody
if you
else
would.
can either. So.
All right, well, speaking of how much you should rely on apps, there's a new study that, it's blaming dating apps for a rise in sex addiction cases. One rehab clinic operating in Hong Kong has recorded a 30% increase in the number of people seeking help for sex addiction, and counselors believe hookup apps such as Tinder are to blame. And they say that they've been on the rise in addiction before with online pornography, but now apps have more people focused on the idea that a simple swipe can lead to instant sex. Instant, right on there. So instant gratification. So maybe these millennials are just wanting that instant gratification, and so maybe that's what's happening.
It's definitely a trend. I mean, I'm married, so I don't know, but through my friends, I've heard that these apps, there's a big trend that it's not used so much for serious dating and serious relationships, but more for hooking up. So
wow, that's
when you
goes
go
back to
swipe
what I
onto
just
the
said.
app,
It's
right?
so sad. The
Yeah.
app, it's so sad. You know, it's very unfortunate, because I just think that for a lady, of course, it takes away from when you meet a guy and you want to be courted, you want to have the
Yeah, but this
butterflies.
is not about courting. This is not about courting.
It doesn't matter.
About
This is my opinion. You can't tell me how to feel, Tony.
No, I'm not
this is
telling
my
you not to
opinion,
feel
and
that
I feel
way.
I feel as though when a woman when a woman wants to be loved, when she wants to be nurtured, that's nothing but a high price.
Well, that's
HO.
but that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. You're talking about something totally different. What they're saying is that these are helping people who have sex addiction issues.
It's
you
not
know,
helping,
that-
it's creating.
Oh, no, it's helping.
Well,
Because you
but
gotta
it's
have
also
it first.
creating sex addicts because by just a simple swipe and they can hook up with somebody. Whatever happened to
No, I don't think it creates it. It's like being an
self-respect?
alcoholic.
Well,
You're
it's so
either
simple.
one or
How
you're
can it not create it?
Well, I don't think it creates it, but I do think it makes it easy. Like you said, how could it not?
There was a
You
guy I
sparkle
watched on YouTube the other day, and he's from London. He was about 26 years old, and it was interesting. I don't know how I caught him on there, but I looked at it, and I kept watching this because he actually said, you know what, this is going to be an experiment. I'm going to just get on Tinder, and he thought, let me just try this and see how it goes. He got on Tinder, and he was typing in what people were giving to him to put online to say to these women. There was some really vulgar things.
Oh, I bet.
He has never met these women before, and he would just find a girl and say, XYZ, whatever it is, and it was rather vulgar, a lot of the things. And these girls, he would sit there live on his YouTube channel and say, okay, let's see how long it takes for that one. And they would respond in almost 30 seconds. Yeah. Almost 30 seconds. I mean, there was more than 75% of these girls that responded and said, I will meet you. I will meet you today. I'll meet you where do you want to hook up. It was unbelievable for me as an older generation to watch that, though. I mean, it was actually quite alarming, especially if I had a 20-something-year-old boy or girl.
But that
would
is
be
the
really
reputation
concerned.
Tinder has. And I don't, but
All
not,
of the
I don't
sites,
think,
though.
No, not
My
necessarily.
girlfriends are on Match. They come
Bumble,
across this
Match.
all the time.
Okay, they may come
All the
across it,
time.
but I think that you still have other sites like a Match.com, like eHarmony, that are a little more supposed to be anyway.
There's a handful, but there's not
more
many, sister.
about
Not
dating
many.
No.
than Tinder. I mean, Tinder really is known as a hookup app. That's the reputation. I think the other ones. I'm not saying people don't use the other ones for that, but I think it's a little more dating. It's supposed to be anyway with the other ones. I don't know.
I don't know. It's an easy world out there in that world. I would say after watching him, it looked pretty easy.
Oh yeah, it's easy. All right, coming up next, tips on keeping kids occupied and safe this summer. Hear how the Monique Burr Foundation for Children can help.